always said I wanted to be one of the best players in the world. I've been saying this for a long time. I don't know if I'm ever going to be, but it was the first time Jamaicans were going to see me play. I couldn't even believe it myself. And when the national anthem was playing, I almost felt like I wanted to cry. When I was younger, I used to like Thierry Henry and Ronaldinho a lot. Especially Ronaldinho though, because Ronaldinho used to be flary. And I used to say, yo, I want to be flary like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I'm a dribbler.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us for CVM News at noon for Thursday, June 5, 2025. I am Curlin Brown. The Jamaica Constabulary Forces Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, the FNID, has announced another significant seizure of illegal firearms, formally charging a Kingston man in connection with the seizure of 14 firearms and 57 rounds of ammunition on D-Side Avenue, Kingston 10. Charged is 38-year-old Lamar Douglas, otherwise called Joe, of Patrick City, Kingston 20. Douglas, who was out on bail in relation to another case, was arrested following the seizure. He has now been charged with 19 counts of the possession of prohibited weapons, as well as 6 other related charges. The police are also seeking the public's assistance to find another suspect who has been named as Julian McLeish, who evaded the police during the operation. McLeish is being urged to turn himself into the police immediately. And in 2 other separate investigations, the police have reported the seizure of 20 12-gauge cartridges in Bruno Lane, Central Village, St. Catherine. Reports from the Greater Portmore Police are at about 2 p.m. a police team conducted a targeted raid at a premises where the ammunition was found hidden in an unfinished house. And another 10 12-gauge cartridges were seized on Union Avenue in St. Andrew following a targeted raid. No arrests were made in connection with either seizures. However, investigations are continuing. Residents of Lucky Street in Knockpatrick, Manchester, are outraged following the fatal shooting of a man during what police report was a confrontation. Now, the dead man, identified as Moses Morgan, also called Osa, was said to be a farmer and a higgler. Police say the incident occurred sometime after 6 p.m. Tuesday at a residence in the community, and a firearm was seized. Now, while early reports suggest a shootout took place, residents strongly dispute that version of the events. Video footage captured following the incident show the police carrying the limp body of a man and tossing it into the back of a service unit before driving away. The matter is now under investigation. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, during his sectoral debate presentation, responded to concerns regarding the rate of engagement of local contractors relative to overseas-based operators on a number of major infrastructure projects taking place across the island.
Madam Speaker, we have engaged 23 local subcontractors under the Spark program. So this argument that no local subcontractor has been engaged under the Spark and it's just foreigners who are engaged is a blatant lie. The government spent $8.7 billion last year on recurrent expenditure. All of that $8.7 billion of recurrent expenditure went to local contractors. Madam Speaker, over the last 18 months, based on the data coming out of the procurement unit of the National Works Agency, the government of Jamaica has spent over $12 billion of recurrent expenditure. Every single dollar of that $12 billion has gone to local contractors.
Mr. Morgan also gave an update on the shared prosperity through accelerated improvement to Jamaica's road network SPARK program, the single largest infrastructure investment in Jamaica's history, a $45 billion commitment from government.
Madam Speaker, we have issued 148 work orders for roads across 63 constituencies. As of today, work has commenced on 78 roads. SPARK covers not just community roads. We're going to talk about community roads, but SPARK also will cover something that we don't remember, main roads. Approximately 70 main roads will be repaired in the next phase of SPARK. So Part A of SPARK is local and community roads. It focuses on straightforward road works, including road rehabilitation and reconstruction, repairs to longitudinal drains and road markings. It will address surface distress. It will strengthen pavements in eroded areas and reduce surface roughness.
In a powerful critique of the nation's education system, PNP President Mark Golding is sounding an alarm. Speaking at a town hall in St. James, the opposition leader declared Jamaica's education system needs urgent reform. Literacy tutors, let's get to that story. I beg your pardon. More than 2,000 students who struggle to read will benefit from Literacy on Wheels, a revolutionary initiative aimed at reaching students where they are. This initiative will have tutors who are trained to improve students' literacy skills, visiting struggling students and assisting them. The tutors drive mobile units that are designed as classrooms to visit these students. Now, the program is organized by the Youth Empowerment Mobile Center, ECATS, with the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, and the Jamaica Library Service as collaborators. Sushana Barracks is a literacy coordinator and educator helping to empower the young readers.
The ECATS Literacy on Wheels revolution, the Literacy on Wheels program powered by ECATS Mobile Resource Center, is not just another initiative, it's a movement of hope. ECATS has already impacted hundreds of children through spelling competitions, community reading support, and inclusive programs for children with diverse learning needs. Now, through Literacy on Wheels, this effort is expanding to 10 parishes, reaching over 2,000 students who are at risk of being left behind. We are talking about mobile units retrofitted as classrooms, driven by trained tutors carrying not just books, but compassion and strategy. The ECATS Literacy on Wheels revolution partners with the Ministry of Education to train tutors, the Jamaica Society for the Blind to provide eye screening and glasses, the Jamaica Library Service to deliver age-appropriate reading materials. Together, we are not waiting for children to come to us. We are bringing literacy to their doorsteps.
Regional investment and enterprise development will take center stage when Jamaica hosts the Caribbean Investment Forum 2025 from July 29 to 31. Organized by JAMPRO and the Caribbean Export Development Agency, the event will spotlight sectors such as renewable energy, agriculture, tourism and real estate. Now, according to JAMPRO's VP of Investment Linkages, Christopher Denny, the forum offers a rare opportunity for local entrepreneurs to pitch ideas directly to investors.
You may have a project that is looking for additional investors, or you may be seeking investors. Call us, and we will help you to see if you can fit into one of the pitching opportunities that we have, because the design of this forum is that there's going to be a pitch village. Where investors will be able to pass through.
Yes.
Right? There's going to be a high-end pitching
Angel
content.
investors and otherwise.
Yes, that's indeed. All of the above.
Yes.
Right? There's going to be a high-end pitch contest.
Yes.
Right? So, and you can, express your interests. We'll help you to see if you could fit into one of those modes, if you can take advantage of that opportunity.
Now, beyond networking, the forum aims to tackle deep-rooted regional challenges, including inter-island logistics and trade limitations. The goal is solutions, not just talk. Deputy Executive Director of the Caribbean Export Development Agency, Leon Knott, emphasized real outcomes are already being seen.
It's not about relisting the challenges that we've heard. It's about talking about the solutions. If I go back all the way to 2022, to the inaugural Caribbean Investment Forum in Trinidad, one of the projects that came out of there is a solution to connect Barbados, Guyana, and Trinidad via a ferry. I'm happy to report that that's one of our success stories out of Caribbean Investment Forum. That project, small, it's not connecting the entire Caribbean, but we take gradual steps to do that. Just got the investment, is moving forward. We actually just got news that they're purchasing their first vessel to put this in motion. And it's about doing those gradual steps that help fill the gaps.
Do stay with us. News at noon will continue in just a moment.
Jamaica, Relay for Life is back. Join the Jamaica Cancer Society on Saturday, June 7 at the Police Officers Club in Kingston. And let's walk, dance, and celebrate life together. From 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., we're honoring survivors, remembering loved ones, and standing strong in the fight against cancer. We'll have lots of prizes and surprises for the best teams. So form a team, purchase Luminaria bags, and let's relay for life. To register your team, visit www.jcs.live or call 876-927-3317. Brought to you by the Jamaica Cancer Society. Walking together with hope.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people them I say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit the dark, shine your lights
Welcome back. It's time for a discussion section. Now, bike injuries in Jamaica, particularly motorcycle-related incidents, are a significant concern, leading to both injuries and fatalities. Now, these injuries can range from minor to severe, including head injuries. Joining us at this time is consultant orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Kerry Fletcher, who conducted a research detailing the correlation between bike injuries and a variety of contributing factors. Very interesting. Good afternoon, Dr. Fletcher.
Good afternoon. Are you hearing me okay?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little about your research, which yields results about bike accidents around the island.
Okay, so I led a research at the St. John's Bay Hospital, and we had done it over 2 years. We had looked at patients that had presented at the hospital, either primarily, that is, they turned up directly after being injured, or they were referred from another medical center, usually within the region. We had gotten a questionnaire and had captured data in real time, and then it was then submitted for further statistical analysis. We had collected a lot of information both on the socio-demographic data in terms of the motorcyclists that were injured, how many had chronic illnesses, how many smoked, drank. We documented the timing of injuries and the need for hospitalization, need for surgical intervention, which body parts typically needed surgical intervention in terms of frequency. And we had looked at hospitalization and surgical intervention to give us an idea of severity of injuries. We had looked at how many persons wore a helmet, how many had license and insurance, how many had formal training. We looked at the reasons why persons weren't wearing a helmet, amongst other things, but I'll stop there.
Doc, it had to be real bad for you to even consider doing that. Tell us over what time period? Just before we go to your response, we have to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute.
The Time is brought to you by Ford Territory.
In a world where innovation meets tradition, agriculture is evolving like never before. From the latest sustainable farming technologies to age-old practices passed down through generation, agriculture is
precious to me.
I love the animals. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I love working.
Join us right here on CVM TV every Sunday during news at 7 as we explore the people, the science, and the breakthroughs that are shaping the way we grow, eat, and live. You don't want to miss it. This is Farming Forward.
Welcome back. From where we sit, we tell you about them almost every day, bike injuries. And so we're joined by consultant orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Kerry Fletcher, who conducted a research detailing the correlation between bike injuries and a variety of contributing factors. Doc, I just asked you over what period was this study done and, you know, the need for it.
Well, the need for it is because it is basically crippling the health sector in terms of the number of persons being admitted, the fact that when they come in with certain types of injuries, they have to be done on the emergency list in the middle of the night certain times. But then there are other times in which more pressing injuries are going to take precedence, whether it be head injuries or bleeding pregnant women, other more critical things. So then they don't get to have the surgery that they need at the time. That delay then causes them potentially to be put on an elective list. And then persons who were waiting weeks, sometimes months, for their elective surgery then gets bumped because of these bike injuries. And then that has a ripple effect on the clinic persons who have been waiting even longer for their surgeries now because they are now bumped because of a backlog of persons on the ward. So that really was one of many reasons why I conducted this study.
Doc,
the study was done under during a 2-year period in which we saw 155 persons, all of whom were men, with the exception of 2 females who were both passengers.
Doc, what was your...
2/3 of the study, they were aged less than 40, and almost a half of them were in their 20s.
Doc, I want to get this one in quickly. What was your most interesting finding? We're hearing that people are wearing shorts and slippers there, and these make it a bit dangerous how they're dressed.
Yeah, so that's one issue. So over half of the study population had a lower limb injury, and these were the injuries that needed surgical intervention the most, in particular the leg, thigh, and ankle areas. And one of the findings was that a number of the riders, not only are they not wearing protective gear, but they're wearing shorts and slippers, and this resulted in some pretty severe injuries, their skin being ripped off, toes being lost, and that sort of thing. It therefore had a lot of psychological impact on them and emotional impact on them because they were not able to function the same even after quote-unquote successful surgery.
You mentioned mostly male, but what about any data about the proficiency and the age of the riders involved in these bike crashes?
The ages range from 14 to 64 years of age, and the average age was 28. The riders, out of the 155, only 3 were formally trained, and none of them was a typical Jamaican citizen. In fact, one was a Canadian tourist, another one was trained because he was a policeman, and the third person was trained because they ride at Dover. So when we had looked at the mechanism of injury in detail, over 80% of them were highly preventable. And so had they been formally trained, it's likely that they would not have had those injuries. Also, the importance of formal training is that it not only improves the skill level, but also can assist in terms of changing the cultural mindset of these riders in terms of accepting the need